Hey, I get it. Standing in front of the camera, while feeling like you're about to sign a lease on a piece of equipment you might never really use can be a little overwhelming. You've probably Googled best indie filmmaker camera 100 times, watched a handful of YouTubers rave about the look of the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, and now you're stuck wondering whether tossing a few $100s at this bundle will actually move your projects forward or just sit on a shelf gathering dust. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The biggest question is, will this camera fit into the day-to-day workflow you already have, and will the extra batteries and charger actually save you time, or will you end up swapping out gear more often than you'd like? First off, let's talk about the kind of work that makes a Pocket 4K a genuine upgrade. If you're shooting short narrative pieces, documentary interviews, or even music videos where you need a cinematic look without lugging around a full-size cinema rig, the 4K sensor paired with Blackmagic's color science delivers a surprisingly rich image. The camera records in RAW and ProRes, so you get that film-like latitude for color grading in post, which is a huge deal if you've been stuck using flat-looking 1080p footage on a cheaper cam. For someone who already edits in DaVinci Resolve, the native workflow means you can drop those .raw files straight into the timeline without the extra transcoding steps that many other cameras demand. Now, who should consider this bundle? If you're a creator who already has a decent lens collection, perhaps a set of vintage cinema lenses or modern primes, and you're comfortable handling external media, this is a solid step up. The inclusion of 2 extra LPE6 batteries and a dual charger isn't just a nice perk, it directly addresses a real pain point that shows up on set. Many users report that the original battery only gets you about 45 minutes of continuous shooting at 4K 60 frames per second, so having spares extends your shooting window without you having to pause for a change. The dual charger also means you can keep one battery charging while the other is in the camera, cutting downtime dramatically. On the flip side, if you're the type of creator who only ever shoots quick YouTube vlogs or live streams, the Pocket 4K might feel a bit overkill. Its design leans heavily toward controlled shooting environments, and the lack of a built-in ND filter means you'll need to pull out a third-party solution if you're filming outdoors in bright daylight. That adds another piece of gear to carry, which might defeat the purpose of a compact camera for you. Also, be aware that the menu system, while praised for being user-friendly, still includes a learning curve if you've never dealt with RAW files or custom LUTs. If you're not willing to spend a weekend tinkering with the software side, you might find yourself frustrated. When it comes to real-world performance, the biggest strength is the image quality under a variety of lighting conditions. In a recent test I ran with a modest 12mm prime, the camera handled a dimly lit interview room with just a single LED panel, delivering clean shadows and well-defined highlights. The dynamic range felt close to what you'd expect from a higher-priced cinema camera, and the skin tones stayed natural even when pushing the exposure a stop into the highlights. That's the sort of payoff that can instantly make your footage look more professional, something you can't easily fake in post. However, there are trade-offs you should know before you hit the Add to Cart button. The body itself is fairly lightweight, but the lack of an internal ND filter and the reliance on external SSDs for recording mean you'll need to budget for a sturdy external drive if you intend to shoot at the highest bit rates. The camera's battery life, even with the extra LPE6 packs, will still demand you plan for power changes if you're filming longer events like weddings or conferences. In my own scenario, I found that swapping batteries on a 2-hour shoot broke the flow. I had to pause after each battery died to change it, and the camera's USB-C power input is handy for continuous power, but ties you to a bulky power bank unless you're near an outlet. Another practical point is the lens ecosystem. Since it's a micro 4/3 mount, there's a wide range of affordable lenses, but you'll also notice a crop factor that can be a surprise if you're coming from full-frame gear. A 25mm lens on a full-frame sensor becomes a 50mm equivalent on the Pocket, so you might need to adjust your framing expectations. That said, The depth of field control you get is actually beneficial for narrative storytelling, as you can isolate subjects without needing an ultra-wide aperture lens. Now, let's discuss the included accessories. The dual battery charger reduces the dead battery cliff that many indie filmmakers complain about. In practice, I was able to charge both spare batteries while shooting with one, and the charger's LED indicators made it